Okay, so number 7. The time it takes for a pendulum to swing back and forth can be represented by the function, boom, where S of x is the time in seconds and x is the length of the pendulum in feet. Okay, so what are they wanting us to do on this problem? They're saying, how many seconds will it take for a 9-foot pendulum to swing back and forth one time? Round your answer to 1 decimal place. So I'm going to take that 9 and I'm going to plug it in for something. For what? S of x is the time, x is the length of the pendulum, 9-foot pendulum. Oh, so they're telling me x is 9, right there. Right, because again, act right here, x is the length of the pendulum in feet. And they're saying it's a 9-foot pendulum. So they're telling me x is 9. So take that equation and plug in 9. And so the 9 is going to go in right there, isn't it? So it's going to equal 2 pi times the square root of 9 over 32. So then hit the buttons on your calculator. I'm going to do it on mine. I used the pi button. I went 2 times the pi button times the square root of 9 over 32. I got 3.33. Let's say 3.33216, blah, blah, blah. But they said round to 1 decimal place. So I'm just going to say 3.3. 3.3 seconds. So for a 9-foot pendulum, it'll take it 3.3 seconds to swing, as it said here, swing back and forth one time. The time it takes for a pendulum to swing back and forth, right? Next part, they say if it takes 4 seconds for a pendulum to swing back and forth one time, what is the length of the pendulum? What is the length of the pendulum? Well, S of x is the time. See it right there? S of x is the time in seconds. So they're saying 4 seconds. So they're saying S of x is 4. So let me write out this function down here. S of x is 2 pi square root of x over 32. And I'm going to plug in for S of x 4 right there. Okay, so what do I do now? So now I've plugged in for S of x, which is the time. It's seconds. S stands for seconds, I guess. So it's 4 seconds. I plugged in 4 for S of x. And now I need to solve for x because they're asking what is the length? And length is x. X is the length. So I got to solve for x. Solve for x. So S equals 4. I plugged in S is 4. Solve for x. So I need to solve for x. Get x alone, right? We have an equal sign with x is saying I want to be alone. So let's do that. Let's get x alone. Here's the wall of separation. X is saying I want to be alone. Okay, so first step, divide by the 2 and the pi. Divide by the 2 and the pi. Boom, boom. So what do we get then? 4 over 2 pi equals square root of x over 32, right? Got rid of the 2 pi. So we're getting closer. We're trying to solve for x, wanting to get x alone all by itself. So if we're going to get x alone all by itself, we got to get rid of that square root that's over it, don't we? We got to get that out of here somehow. So let me extend this. So how am I going to get that out of there? Well, you probably remember we're going to second power both sides. And the 2 power cancels the root. They're opposites. A 2 power is the opposite of a square root. There's really an invisible 2 in there. That's why we say square root. Remember, square means 2. Like this is x squared. Square means 2. So we call that a square root because there's a 2 there. And so a 2 power is the opposite. They cancel. So what do you get? Just x over 32 is 4 over 2 pi squared. Now, actually, we can clean that up a little bit. Can't we? You know what? I should have been clean. I didn't even notice. I should have been cleaning it up back here. Right here. I should let me backtrack a little bit. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So this should have been 2 over pi, huh? I should have canceled that 2 into the 4 way back there. And then when you square this, square the 2, square the pi, you get 4 over pi squared. Is that okay? I just squared the 2, squared the pi. So back here I reduced 2 into 4 2 times. Then I squared the 2, squared the pi. And now trying to solve for x, cross multiply. Like that. Not good. So what do we get then? 4 times 32 is x times pi squared. And 4 times 32, what is 4 times 32? Use your calculator. 128. The last step to solve for x is to divide by pi squared. Boom. X is alone. That's the answer. This is round to the nearest decimal place. So let's take the calculator. 128 over pi squared. What's that? So you got to divide by pi and divide by pi again. So I'm getting 12.969. How many decimal places is that? Oh, just one decimal place. So I'm going to cut it right here. And that 6 will round. 12.9 will become 13.0. Right? Because we got to round up. Y'all okay with that? 12.96. They said round to one decimal place. So that 6 has got to round that 12.9 up to 13.0. So there it is, rounded to one decimal place. 13.0. That one. And there we go. Questions I can answer on